What's up, everybody? This is Acorn Esports. I'm Faraz Aleem. I'm joined by Declan and Mahmoud. We're going to make a video ranking the 10 teams going into LCS. So let's throw it around the room, introduce ourselves. Declan, you want to start?
Yeah, sure. So I'm Declan. I write for Acorn Esports. I mainly write about League of Legends. And when we talked about it during a meeting, I thought, why wouldn't I jump in? So here I am for you, Mahmoud.
Awesome. Mahmoud?
Yes, it is Mahmoud ibn Zubair. I called in on Hotline League, which is run by Travis Gafford and Mark Zed. So yeah, I got a bit popular there. I am streaming. I have not been on the streaming grind recently, but I have streamed twitch.tv/ Mahmoud ibn Zubair. Uh, I tweet almost every day, try to at least, twitter.com/Mahmoud1. But yeah, I love talking about the esports. I love League of Legends esports. It's very interesting. It is the closest thing we have to traditional sports as gamers.
True.
So, we get to be like the NFL analysts and the NBA analysts. So, let's go.
All right. Don't worry. I'll make sure to put all your links down below in the video. So I guess let's jump right into it. Number 10, I think we all had Golden Guardians, right? And who wants to kick it off? You want me to take it away while I got him number 10?
Yeah, sure, yeah.
No, nobody on their team seems impressive. You know, they've been marketing the thing as their rebuild year, and I don't know. They have Niles in the top lane, seems too aggressive. They have a Blaze Olive in mid lane. He did well in academy, but I don't know. It's just too lackluster of a team. No big names besides Stixay, and even he's been on like a downturn for the past few years. So that's why I got him number 10. Why'd you guys put him all the way at the bottom?
Mahmoud, do you want to go first?
Yeah. Well, if you look at the other squads, like Dignitas, they have some pretty good mechanical players. Dardak, Neo, he is Vietnamese, so who knows? Maybe he is amazing player. Uh, Immortals, they have Revenge, they have Reyes. Uh, Steel G has obviously amazing players. So like really, this squad is the only one. Their only veteran is the only one. He's on the down clan, as you have said. So the rest is academy players or young players, and they don't show any promise in the LCS.
So I put them at 10 because, as you said, they're not really, there's no really big names. You have Stixay, but then you have a bunch of people that they're new or they've been in academy. I'm seeing this, we talked about it previously. I'm seeing this more or less not only as a rebuild, but more importantly from the rebuilding aspect. For each player, I want to see how they gather experience from their matchups. So, for example, Blaze Olive, what's it going to be like when he plays into perks? He could get just absolutely just he could have it handed to him. Okay, he just have the loss handed to him and just walk off. The thing is though, he's going to take something from that.
True.
And the bigger aspect of it, one of the big narratives when I was looking at this list is the future of the LCS. This year, we had a lot of players retire. Two of the biggest being doublelift and Bjergsen, two of the biggest NA players. But the new thing is that they were the face of the LCS for the longest time, and so it's all about the future now. So future players. So I'm hoping that even if they lose every game, the split, they don't even make it past quarters in the playing tournament. I hope they take experience from all of that stuff. And if they don't apply it to next split next year, then they'll apply it to their next team. And I'm just hoping that this is like a building year. It's a rebuilding year for the organization, but I hope it's a building year for the players. And that's why I have them at number 10. I'm just looking at it at my notes. I don't think this is going to be a year they reach number 1. But again, it's just going to be a rebuilding year for them and a building year for the players, in my opinion.
All those players are like shaking in their boots right now. They're gonna like make us regret these words.
Hey, and I mean this for all the teams that we put down here. I'd love to be proven wrong. I love any player that there's immense skepticism for. I would love to see them just come up here, and I would love to see them pull an upset against TL, C9, Wonders Thieves, CSM. I'd love to see them just take down a bunch of these old players. And yeah, I hope I'm proven wrong because I really do wish the best for these players.
All right, and number 9 we got Immortals. So Mahmoud, I'll let you take this one.
Yeah, so I actually had Dignitas at number 9, but Immortals, I mean, Revenge, um, he has not been in the scene for a while, but he came back, right? He was, I don't even know what happened. I thought he was going to like Harvard or something, and I was like, good job, good job. My parents would be proud of, if I was him,
Yeah.
they would be proud of him or of me. So now he's here. I think he's very mechanical player, very good. But we have to see how he can perform in the LCS. He has been in the academy, no? Uh, Recently or no?
I don't think so. I'm not
I believe so.
100% sure.
Oh, okay, yeah. So he's just been solo queuing, I guess. Xerxes, I think he's coming here to collect the Bayshaks, definitely.
True.
I don't think he's going to be putting in his full effort. Who knows? I think he's going to see his squad and he's going to just give up, honestly. So this is what I think. Insanity, I don't know much about this guy. Honestly, I'm going to be honest. As well as Reyes, but uh, uh, sorry, what Ali, right?
Fraz.
Ali? Oh, Faraz. Sorry.
Damn.
Faraz, you have said, he's not going to be able to go against, Kramer or Tactical. So most likely, if he cannot go against those players, he's not going to be able to go against any of these ADCs. So Destiny, I also have not heard of. So if these new people can show up, then Immortals are going to be blessed higher. But I don't think they will.
I'll say one thing about it. Actually, about the bot lane, they're OC veterans, they're OPL veterans. The one thing I want to give him credit for, Destiny especially. Destiny, he shouldn't be new to people who, like, if you watched LEC, he played on Astralis Origin. They were Origin last split, but they rebranded to Astralis. Um, he's a longtime veteran. And then you have Reyes, who's coming over. He's a fresh face. I think what's it called? I don't I don't know if they're going to be able to compete up against Tactical, Wild Turtle, all these big names, or not. Yeah, not Wild Turtle, but you know what I mean. You're not going to be able to get into Zen, a lot of the top rated players. But what's going to be interesting about these bottom teams that we have is that you can't write them off, but it's going to be interesting to see how they play against each other because at that point in time, it's really going to separate. You know what? Maybe we have Golden Guards number 10, and then we have what's it called, IMT at number 9. But maybe IMT plays really well because these are players that they're undetermined. But again, it's the future. I want to keep saying that a lot here. I think it's gonna be really important to see how they play out. Personally, I'm an OPL fanboy. I'm sad that they got. I'm happy it's back, but it's not the OPL. So I'm always happy to see where players come from there, and I am excited to see how Rays plays. Destiny, I really hope that he takes the year he got over in the LEC and he really applies it here and he helps out some of the younger players there. I'll say that much in regards to their bot lane.
Okay. Yeah, I put Immortals above Golden Guardians mostly because they had Xerxes and then also like an experienced, maybe not in the LCS, but like an experienced bot lane. So just being able to, because Golden Guardians is like mostly rookies and like academy players, and then this team, I was like, I don't know. I feel like Xerxes has a bigger voice than 6A, so if he can like lead the charge, they can do better. And it looks like another rebrand year, but I don't want to put them 10th. So these bottom of the ladder teams, they all seem like they could be swappable. Like I could put Golden Guardians 9th and then Immortals 10th, and our next team that we're gonna be talking about, Dig. Like I'm sure I can swap all those teams around. Like just because like one thing goes right or like one thing goes wrong. Like a lot of variables for these bottom teams.
Yes, I agree.
So number 8, Dignitas. Declan, you want to start us off for Dignitas?
Yeah, so honestly, one of the biggest things looking at them, they stand out from every other team. I believe it's every other team. Honestly, I didn't do a nationality thing. They're an all North American team. I think there's usually one team every year that's like this. I believe they're an all. I think they're only all North American team, Two of the biggest names on the team, Dardoch and Aframu, two of the veterans. Aframu more than Dardoch. Um, but the thing is, both of them, in my opinion, they're on the down. They're on the downhill part of their career, and it's going to be more or less about not coaching them, but definitely nudging them in the right direction. Um, and some of these other players, right here, for example, again, this might not be their year, but they can't look at it as a negative thing. Look at Vulcan, for example. Vulcan, he was on the best teams before him. He spent multiple years in academy, and then look where he is now. He's arguably the second best, or in some cases the first best. We'll talk about that later when we get up towards the top. But Vulcan's amazing on C9, and he has been since he's gotten to clutch. And it's going to be all these things. So it's going to be important. That's just my opinion. But yeah, it's going to be important to see how these underplayed players play.
Mahmoud, what you got for Dignitas?
Yeah, well, we're just going down the list. Fake God. Who's this guy? I don't know. Dardak. Uh, I don't know if he has matured or not since his TL days. Uh, Definitely him and Afromu. I don't think they're going to make any impact on this team. Soligo, I have heard of this guy in the LCS. I believe he was on like, wasn't he on like Phoenix One or something back in the day? I don't know. Maybe my memory is bad, but I don't think he's going to really matter. Definitely not a top mid laner. Neo, he's from Vietnam, I believe. Really cool name he has. He's probably going to be mechanical genius. So I think this guy is going to be the one to wash out of all these players on this team. And like I said, Afromu, I think he's just collecting the basics at this point. And he's wearing the arm sleeve and cool guy. So I mean, really, he's a veteran, but his mechanics have deteriorated. I would honestly compare him to the sword art, honestly. Mechanics are deteriorating, but maybe he still has some shot calling in him, maybe some leadership. So yeah.
That's interesting. Afromo compared to Sword Art. Yeah, they're a little similar, I think. But for me, Dignitas, the one thing I'm worried about for them dropping from like 8th to 10th is Dardoch and Afromo, them both being like loud voices, that clash. I don't see it going well. If they don't, or if they're not on the same page about stuff, I feel like that whole team can blow up, and all these like Soligo, Neo coming from Vietnam, Fake God. I know he has experience, but this will be like his first time being the starter from beginning to end, hopefully, if they play well. And if those two veterans don't like mesh well, I feel like everything's gonna like blow up. And I know you've been mentioning, Declan, how like for a lot of these teams, like you're just like excited to watch them like build themselves, right? And I feel like these three teams we talked about, that's the most exciting thing about it, is that there's new faces and there's new players, and they're it's gonna be interesting to watch them grow. Like who knows, one of these players might be like the next doublelift or something. We don't know it yet, but like few years down the line, they might start popping off. They might get a chance on one of the bigger teams, or maybe nah, that's not. I was gonna say maybe they'll carry these teams on their back, but probably not gonna happen. But who knows,
Well,
right?
I mean, attributing to your point about where these players could end up, why don't we just take a look? I'm not jumping up the list. We're not jumping around to talk about them. Look at TSM. People, most 9 out of 10 people probably don't know who Lost is, but yet Lost is now playing. He's now in the same bot lane as a former, just the last Worlds finalist. Not the winner, but a finalist
True.
nonetheless. He's a world class support, and I just don't think people like. I don't think people realize like how much like yeah, it could just be that like they might be on a horrible team this year. They could be down in the academy. Next split, they're going to be up playing with these big players on really important or in really big teams, like really like on a dynasty. So I think it definitely is just it's important to definitely see that this might not be their year, but they could still fall in place somewhere else.
Yeah, and NA as a region, I think they need to have a leader because the solo queue in NA, it does not teach them how to play the game properly. Usually in other regions like EU, Korea, China, their communication is a lot. They don't have to communicate as much as enablers. So really, when you look at these any teams, usually if they don't have a leader, they're most likely going to not perform very well. So we see in these bottom three, even some of the top three teams, they don't have leader. So some of them do have shot calling, but they don't have leader. So this is what we need to look for, especially in NA. So
Yeah, maybe one of these players will become those leaders, right? And for number 7, we have CLG. I know we all had them at different spots, I think. Um, so I guess I'll start this one off because they're my favorite team. They have been since I started watching League. It's been kind of rough these past few years, but I guess I put them here instead of like the bottom 3 because I'm just expecting some veteran leadership to be better than complete rookies, right? And we got Paul Belter, Broxa, Wild Turtle, and Smoothie. Like all these players are and have been for the past few years. I feel like right in the middle, right? And now they're all together. So hopefully, like they can continue being right in the middle and place around 7th. And I'm not sure how the playoffs are going to work, but if they're the same as last year, then they'll make it to the playoffs. And if not, then they'll be right outside of it. And I feel like Broxa and Pobelter, they can play very supportive styles. So maybe it'll enable Finn to like go back to like the carry style he played back in 2019 instead of playing like the tank stuff he played on Rogue, right? And there's not much here, but I feel like it's more than the bottom 3 teams. So that's why I got them 7th instead of like 8th, 9th, 10th. But I no, I believe in them because I'm a fan. Honestly, I think that.
I I I think it is very fair to put them at 7. If you look at EG, who I put above them at 6th place, uh, the only reason I put EG above is because they have Impact, Svenskeren. These players are compared to Broxa, Finn, Bobelter, a lot better in skill. Um, so I think it is very fair. And yeah, like you have said, they are veterans, and uh, in NA especially, I think these veterans, even if they're not performing at their ceiling, they will still perform better than these bottom 3 teams that have almost full rookie squads.
True. Yeah.
So
Declan, what'd you say about CLG?
I have them up at 5th. I was going to shock you here about it's leagues above where you guys have them here. I have them at 5th because when I was looking at their roster, I know I'd seen your guys. I wasn't trying to create differences here, but I was looking
Yeah,
at where
that's
you
fine.
guys had them, and I was like, you guys have them down there. When you look at it, so first and first, their biggest piece, in my opinion, they're still I think the best player there is probably Broxa. And the thing is, this year or this past year was not easy on anyone. In the competitive scene, Broxa did not have it easy, and I still feel like he should be on TL. I don't think it was fair that he had to go through all this stuff. He didn't get all the time to really bond with the team, to really mesh well with them. And then but that was supposed to be his benchmark. That was supposed to be where he got tested. I
Mm-hmm.
didn't think that was fair. I'm happy that he's found a home on a good organization. And I really think that, if he gets the time to play with Paul Belter, Wild Turtle, Smoothie, and Finn, I really think we're going to have another one of his fanatic years because I've always seen him as when he came here, I was scared because I'm a fanatic fan, but I I I was really afraid to lose him. And when I came over here, I saw he flatlined, but it wasn't necessarily on him. I don't think he had the proper preparation. I really don't think he should have been judged. Past that point with CLG, you look at Finn. He's coming over. He's towards the top of the pack, but he's not top of the pack in the top lane. It's still left to who once was Alfari over there, and then you still do have Wonder. Bleepo sometimes in that. I don't really feel that way at times, but I think it's a good addition. Pobelter, um, you know, he's starting to get to that point towards the ender part. Like he's starting to get to where it's he's definitely losing it. Not he's not losing it, but I still put him as like the 4th best. I have faith in him. Wild Turtle's the same way. He's been around I think nearly for a decade. No, I'm trying to think if
Yeah,
he
I'm
came into
pretty
like
sure.
2013.
right?
He's been in for a while.
Season 3.
Season
Season three.
three.
So yeah, okay. So for 2013, so he's been in for 8 years this time.
True.
And again, but he's always been there, and he'll. I feel like he's gonna be a rock there. And and then you look at Smoothie, and Smoothie, I don't know why he's not on a better team, in my opinion. Smoothie, I'm still a fan of. Again, I'm a TSM fan. You, Faraz, I know you're a CLG fan.
Hmm.
We button heads here at some point, but uh, I I wasn't pissed off that he, about what happened. I was mad, but it's not on him what happened. I don't understand why after 2019, after the reverse sweep, and then we failed to make worlds, why he just fell off the face of the earth. I personally, or why he went to a lesser team. I liked him still, but I just think this is like the underrated team. If I had to give this team a name, CLG is the underrated team because all these players have either had really bad things said about them, they're either not loved by the community, or honestly, or they're just viewed as old. But I still think they're a playoff contending team. And I really hope they bring back. Yeah, again, I'm a TSM fan. I hope they bring back the glory of CLG. And I think they're the squad to do it. If out of their most recent squads, this is the one to do it. And I look forward to seeing them in the playoffs.
You're making me feel good to be a CLG fan.
You
I
should
might,
be.
might
You
have to
should be.
boost them
It's
up a little bit.
Yeah. You're definitely boosting his ego a bit, man. I just wanted to talk about Finn a bit. I think for some reason people are thinking he's going to be very good. Maybe in EU and in Worlds his performance was not very good. Um, like there was a Horizon interview with Showmaker, and like Ashley Kang, she was asking him, what do you think about Rogue? And he remembers seeing Finn down like 50 CS against Wonder, and he was like, Rogue, there's nothing, they won't be a good opponent. So he was not worried about Rogue in Worlds. Broxa, I I don't think he's perform. I don't think he will perform well. He has not been even in 2018 Fnatic, where people are saying he is a good player. Yeah, on his champions like Lee Sin, which is really his only champion I can remember him being amazing on. Uh, yes, he was able to perform, but other than that, no, he cannot. But Baltar, maybe this guy has some sort of fire. Last split, there was this whole crazy thing. Reddit boss like Bobalter does not have a spot on the roster, but they're giving Crown a spot. They're giving Jizuke. These guys are just collecting basics. So maybe he has some sort of fire now. Wild Turtle, I really don't have anything bad. He's just decent player. He was on FlyQuest last split, so he's able to perform against the top teams in NA. Smoothie, I don't know. I don't know if he's very good. I would rate him a bit lower. I don't know. He does not seem to have. Yeah, maybe he has a shot calling voice, but I don't think he has leadership qualities. So yeah.
one more thing to actually. I do have a note of it. One more thing to actually look out for, and this is gonna be really big. I want to see how this plays out in the future. Their coach Moon used to play. I believe he goes by a different name now. I know him as Moon. He used to be for FlyQuest. He was their jungler back in 2017. He's new coach. One of the biggest things that I'm going to look for here. This is Moon's debut split as a coach in the LCS. I believe he coached Academy, but I did not do my research there. But I know it's his first split as a head coach or just as coach for this team in the LCS. One of the biggest things I want to look for here is how is he going to use this split? Because if you look at it, look at the three big players here. Three big players. You have maybe not three, but you have Broxa, you have Wild Turtle, and you have Smoothie, and you have Cobalt. You get three big players. The thing I want to see what he does is I want to take Smoothie for example. I want to see if he asks Smoothie, "Hey, what did Reaper do? That like what could I do that Reaper did? That Reaper, old coach, former coach for C9, what did he do that I could do to improve? Let's go ask Wild Turtle. What did Parth do? Um, what did Song do? I don't know if he played when, but what do like I want to see when he goes back for Broxa. What did Dylan Falco do? I want to see if he takes this time and if he uses it like a sponge. And I want him to get the most out of his players that he can. Not only on the Rift, but I also want to see it's like how can he improve himself because I want to see if he continues to be the coach here. The coaching's a rocky thing. going on, and I want to see what's it called. If he can ask the players from their different experiences, what can he get from them that he'll pay back in dividends at some point as a coach.
All right.
Yeah, and you were right. He was the coach for CLG Academy before,
Okay,
and
no,
now,
that's what I thought. I was doing a brief
yeah,
overview on him, and yeah, so I just want to see again, just how does he take what other coaches have done and how can he implement it in? Because this is a very well diverse team of coaches, and
All
yeah,
right.
I just want to see how it goes.
We gave the CLG fans enough to think about and talk about. We should keep it moving to number 6. We got EG, Evil Geniuses. Who wants to start this one off? I feel like there's a
I
good
will
amount to
go.
say. Yeah,
I
go
will
for it.
go. Impact. I think now he's getting to the part of his career where he's also going to be collecting paychecks. You know, this is a trending theme in the NA scene. Uh, his skill is probably going to be a bit high, but you know, maybe throughout the split, maybe he's going to deteriorate, or he's going to coast for the entire the regular season until the playoffs or any tournaments. You know, of course, the new split, it's different format. Um, you know, in the big matches, the big pressure matches, we have seen always the veterans are able to perform. So uh, I think he will be able to perform in these high pressure situations. But other than that, you're not going to get much out of him. Svenskeren, I somewhat feel bad for him because you know he left C9. He was in a good team. I don't know why he left. But then you know you look the terms he left on. You know he left on his own to join EG, and you know now he's on bottom of the LCS pretty much. You know, so he's still good player. Still working hard, I think. Jizuke, I really think he's just collecting paychecks as well after that Worlds run in Vitality with Yamato Cannon. Definitely, uh, I think the only time I remember this guy was what he was like learning Heimerdinger from Heisendong. This is the only time. So I think I respect him for this. You know, he's obviously trying to do things for his team to learn the meta. So maybe he's hard worker. You know, we never know about these enablers. Which ones are the hard workers? Which ones are the slackers? You know, because we have seen all the time it is reported. You know, enablers a bit more lazy. You know, so who knows? Ignar, pretty good guy. I think he is also collecting paychecks, guys. Since
No, don't say
2017,
this. Not my boy Ignar.
2017 Misfits, man. He was amazing in that series, but I think now he's definitely collecting the paychecks. He did perform very well on FlyQuest, so if he can keep it up, this team is decent. You know, middle of the LCS.
All right. Yeah, I got them in the middle of the LCS too. One reason being, pretty sure Impact's gonna be a step up from like Kumo, right? And he won't be as tilting as it was Huni, right? That also played for them. I feel like he's not gonna be as tilting. He's just gonna be like a solid rock, freaking tank player, team fight, comps player, and then Svenskeren and Jizuke. If they can just find that synergy, I can put them up to like 4th. If they just find that synergy, I can boost them up. But it doesn't, like, they had a year, right? Like they even bent Jizuke, so they might not find it. That's why I have them at 6th. And I think they're both really good players, but the fact that Jizuke wants to, no, you know what? I think Jizuke is gonna be more willing to play like team fight mid laners now, because now he's gonna be surrounded by more experience and more veteran players and not as tilting players. So I feel like he's gonna like not have all the burden on his shoulders to carry. So he might like not pull out the echo and run it down into the enemy team's base and stuff. So that's what I'm hoping in. That's like one of the games I watched last split, and I was just like, bro, what are you doing? Why are you over there? He's like behind like the Nexus turret, like trying to 1v5. And
What do you mean by tilting? Like, are they the players tilting, or they're making the team tilt?
I feel like um whenever I watch Huni, right, it's so
Oh, his
coin
playstyle. I
his
understand
yeah,
you.
his
Okay,
so
explain,
coin
explain.
flippy. Like I it's either all in or okay, I'm just gonna do nothing now. Like there's no in between. Like it just always seems like 100% or zero. And another thing about this team, I know Ignar and PoE, they had some pretty good synergy together because they played together. If Ignar can find that and like those roams can come in and get Jizuke ahead, I expect Jizuki to be the main carrier of this team. Hopefully, the whole team around him that he has this year, it's gonna be way better and way easier for him to do that. And yeah, Declan, where'd you have EG?
EG I had number 6.
So we're all in agreement.
Personally, personally, I like Impact. I still think I think he's now with Alfari in there. I think he's maybe now booed down to the second, but I still put him up in the in the top of the top laners. Licorice has always been right under him, but now with Alfari, it's given him a run for his money. But again, he doesn't have to change it all. He's still constantly going to be amazing. Moving over to Swansea, again, veteran jungler, as you guys were talking about. I still think he's good. That's in my personal opinion. I wish he was still on Cloud9, but again, coming over here, he seems happy here. He's still kind of underrated when it comes to the whole entire jungler talk. There are times where he could play better, but for what it's worth, I still think on EG, I think he's found steady success, and I hope again this year is another successful year. Jizuke, I have him. I think he's loaded, or not loaded gun. I think he's a loose gun. Put him into the right matchup, and he'll do great. But past that point, he staggers a little bit there. But again, if you find him in the right matchups, he'll cause an upset. He did it back at Worlds, and he's done it in the LCS. And he will just he'll kill Jensen. He'll kill now. Maybe he'll do it to Perks, but it's gonna be one of those things that give him the right circumstances, and that'll happen. But all the right circumstances aren't always given.
True.
And that's what's going to come down to it. One thing I do have to note with this is his contract is set to expire in November. That's at the end of this full year. But an even bigger part about that, he's an import. He takes up one of the 2 import slots. So it's going to be like, well, and listen, EG will have to look at this at the end of the year. If they don't make it to Worlds, if they do, they're going to have to do a review of it all and just say, is this worth not only the money, but is this worth the import slot? Is there someone better we can go get from the LPL, from the LCK, from the LEC, from the OPL or now Resonance? But you know what I mean. Is there someone better we can go out and get? Definitely, he's been a road man. I mean, he's been like he's there when people need him to be there. If someone needs a good ADC or like someone just to fill in, he comes in and he does a good job at it. I'm hoping here he settles down. I hope this is the team he stays on for multiple years. His contract is also set to expire, and I don't actually remember what his exact dates were. I always thought he was signing like yearly contracts when I was looking over at the contract or his contract history. But I'm hoping that this year will be the year that this is the team that he'll find constant success on and he'll stay. And then Ignar, what else can I really say? Provides veteran status. I hope he'll bond well with the rest of the team, and I just hope he's another great support, another world-class support. But he's definitely going to have to, he's going to have to play on the same level with Deftly, and hopefully generate leads and get them to that, get him up to the number 6 spot. Just slide him into Worlds. But yeah, I feel pretty good about this team. Again, definitely just the 2 big things to watch for is Jizuke's his performance and how that's going to impact his future here, not only in NA. Here in NA. Hope maybe he might go back to LEC. Maybe he'll go somewhere else. But yeah, it's definitely not to look at that. That's how I'm feeling about EG this flip.
All right.
Yeah, I think if this team is to succeed, it's going to be with Santorin. I think he's the shining light. And yeah, he's going to have to most likely play through the lane because he has impact in the top lane. Impact is very good at playing the weak side, so he's going to have to make his mid jungle duo very strong. And I think they have one of the stronger mid jungle duos. I'm looking at the rest. Jose Deodo, Balafox, Closer Diamante. These players, they can definitely upset some of these teams in the mid lane. But a worrying trend for them is can Svenskeren, maybe Impact, step up as leader or shot color?
right, live evil. So next we got number 5, FlyQuest. I'm a little excited for FlyQuest just because Licorice, I'm a big fan, and he's been a rock in the LCS for like what 2 years now, and I think he's gonna continue to be. And then bringing over Jose Diodo, he was in like I don't know much about him, but he was very entertaining to watch during Worlds, and if he can play that aggressive style and play it with Palafox, who's known to be like a playmaker, then I think that mid jungle synergy could like boost them up. And then Johnson, I can't believe Dig let go of Johnson, but they did, and FlyQuest picked him up, and he's like he's like an up and coming ADC, maybe the next doublelift. Who knows? Yeah, oh, big claims, but who knows? But he's up and coming. I think like this team just seems solid, like literally right in the middle, but they have potential to like boost themselves up if the mid jungle synergy is found. And I think that's been like the most important thing, especially like the last year of LCS and like league in general, mid jungle synergy. If the team can find that, then they can usually like win games. So that's gonna be the biggest thing. I know Palafox is like a up and coming rookie mid laner. Like everyone's excited to see how he's gonna do, and hopefully next to Jose Diodo, that's a hard name, and Licorice as like the leadership in the team, this team can prosper. But the thing about this team is I can see them like completely not working out and like dropping to like 8th, 9th or something, just because too much improvement, too much ifs, even though they are all good players. So good luck to them. But Declan, I'll throw it over to you.
So yeah, obviously still agree. You got Licorice there. He's by far the shining light in this team. Johnson's close second, but Licorice will be there again. As I said previously, still one of the top 3 top laners in NA, in my opinion. You mentioned Jose Diodo. I have a little bit of stats for him. Coming over, this will be his rookie split in the LCS, but he is not a rookie. He's been in the LLA for a little bit. And last split, he had a 76.7 kill participation. He was the first in the gold differential, and then he was third in first blood percentage. One of the big things is, he lit it up in LLA. It's going to be important that he comes over here and he still does that. He's going to have to learn the pace of the game. He's going to have to learn different strategies, different metas, how these different players are working. Because I know wherever you go across the world, the different leagues, the different regions, play is different there. You can go and you can watch a bunch of really insane, fun things over in Korea, and then see how they might impact play over here in the West. And it's just going to be one of those things that I want to see how his play converts over here. I hope he still plays as aggressive as he did down the LLA, and I'm just hoping he finds success. Palafox, it's a name thrown around a whole lot in the academy. I've watched the academy on and off, and again, I always hear him, but it's always a different team that he's on whenever I hear him. So I'm sure he's happy that he's on a starting lineup, and for once, I hope he stays here. I really hope that he finds his grounding, and again, he's been in the academy for a while. I hope the sky's the limit for him. And besides that, Johnson, you said, again, it's a big drop, and it's a big pickup for FlyQuest. That I'm just hoping that he definitely learns his part. And then Diamond is the one player that I won't lie to you, I really don't know a whole lot about. I know he's on C9 Academy, and just going through and doing research on his career, he's been around for a while. Maybe not in the big tournaments. I wasn't researching what tournaments he was in, but he does have competitive experience from 2012, so that's placed him back, beyond Wild Turtle and beyond these other players. So I'm just hoping that, but it's not like as profound experience, but I'm just hoping that he can definitely, again, I want the best for all these players because they're young players, their careers are still very young, and I'm hoping that, they definitely develop, and I'm hoping that all this stuff really helps them out.
Yeah, and I think Jose Dialdo, I think you can sort of compare him to Karsa, showed up at Worlds, and no one knew who he was or knew his team, and he's just bobbing off in the jungle. And this is what happened in how can I forget? What was the team Karsa came on? Vietnamese team.
Flash
Uh,
Wolves, Taiwanese.
the
Flash
Flash
Wolves.
Wolves, yeah, Flash Wolves were LMS.
Yeah. Oh, I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. What was it? Levi? No, no, no. I'm saying
You're
Yes,
talking about
Levi.
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 That
Yes,
was
Okay.
Levi.
Gigabyte Marines.
Yes, Gigabyte. Yes. So Levi, coming on, and no one knew who Gigabyte was. They thought, oh, it's just wild card, and you see Levi, he's just bobbing off, and this guy, he showed up at Worlds, and yes, you said it, very fun to watch. Definitely very fun, very aggressive, and this is what I love about these players. They aren't afraid, not afraid of anything. They will fight. They'll fight. They'll try to make the proactive plays, and so any players could learn from this. So yeah, definitely watch out for this guy. Could be a top jungler if he is allowed to grow. So we need to see some support from the coaching staff of FlyQuest, and also maybe Licorice can step up and take his play to the next level, and maybe take a leadership role or shot call. Because right now he has no intangibles. He's just mechanically very good. He understands his role very well. Um, so if we want to see Licorice go to the next level, we're going to have to see him, make something up like this. Fox is very good. Similar to Jose, we want to see him grow in Nourish under the FlyQuest. So hopefully, and I think FlyQuest is one of the better orgs at
I agree.
making new talent and making them better. Uh, so yeah, Johnson, I think he's very solid ADC. And Diamond, yeah, I don't know too much. If he was on C9 Academy, it's most likely good, right? C9 Academy usually has very good players, so they're very good at nurturing the talent. So the squad looks very solid, honestly. And I think the only reason, yes, there are a lot of ifs, as we have said, as far as I said. But I think the only reason we're putting them in the fifth place is because their mechanics, everything. You cannot lose mechanics, right? Everyone's going to have it. So the only thing we need to see is the synergy and the leadership and shot calling, and can they win the game? Can they close out the game? Can they come back from behind? So these are the questions we will have to see answered in the upcoming tournament. Uh, so yeah,
All right. Yeah. Hopefully, I'm also a FlyQuest fan too. Starting from last year, obviously they did a good job branding themselves last year. They were entertaining to watch, and
yeah, I think they have done the best out of the new orcs of branding.
true.
I remember I actually did visit the LCS one time. I don't remember when exactly, but they had like the tent up. They were handing out the t-shirts and like what is it, clappers? I
Yeah.
don't know what you call it.
Thundersticks, Thundersticks.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. So these guys have done the best out of the new orcs. Really. 100 Thieves also did very well. But yeah, this is very good.
All right. You guys ready for number 4? We got TSM.
All right.
Uh, you wanted
Can I
Declan?
take it? Yeah, yeah, yeah. Because
Okay.
this is a hot topic.
Okay.
First things first, I'm going to shout myself out. I'm going to put a plug here
Sure.
for a future article. In my opinion, I think TSM lost the offseason, but I'll look at again. I have my reasons. I don't think they're that bad. So we'll do a little roster overview here. First things first, probably the most disputed pickup in recent TSM history in Huni. Again, we mentioned it earlier. It's been known that he's kind of been a coin flip player. In my opinion, there were much better picks out there. And I don't know what happened behind the scenes. It's not been well documented. In my opinion, there were much better top laners. So I think in a way that wasn't the best thing, but Hooney has shown time after time, not in the recent years, but again, you never know that he's been good. Go back, look at his time when he was on Fnatic. Go look at his time when he played with SKT. It wasn't peak, but it was good. He did make it to Worlds Finals again. Um, and then you do all that. So listen, if he sharpens up and he really buckles down, I do expect him to do good. That's why I had them at fourth. That's why I expect him to do good. I think, again, if he puts himself to it, they'll do good. Spica, one of the oddities is that in all of TSM's history within the past decade is that they've rebuilt the team around the mid lane. And more recently, ever since I believe Sven Skaren, I believe he was the longest tenured jungler for a while. They always kind of just switched out the junglers. You can go back and mention through. Oh, geez, I'm actually forgetting some of the names. Well, just if you go back and you look at it, Grig, that's what I'm thinking of.
Good.
Grig, you have Dardoch. You go back through, they're always interchanging. And for the first time ever, the jungler's been the one constant. And Spica, he's a great young player, and he's the only member of the former TSM team. And honestly, Worlds I'm not going to talk about because I do think there's a lot of issues going on there with TSM, but I think he's the one constant that can stay well, and I think his play again can only go up from here. I see him as a great rise in talent. And then you have PoE, again, not the best pickup and not the worst pickup. There is a reason why his team, and I'm not saying it was all on him, but he played a crucial part in getting FlyQuest, A, to Worlds, and B, to the finals 2 splits in a row. Again, facing 2 of the better teams, but again, they got there for a reason. I just don't, he has huge shoes to fill in arguably the best mid laner to ever play North America in Bjergsen. So it's going to be interesting. Bjergsen's new coach, he can help him out. They're roughly the same age with experience at times. So again, it's going to come down to how those two can fill out. Lost, we talked about previously. He's coming up from TSM Academy. He played extremely well in the last split, leading KDA. We're at an 8.5 KDA. He led in goal differential of 15, and then I believe he was ranked, second or third in multiple other categories. And he's going to have to, and this is the one issue I have. He's coming up from Academy, and then you're bringing in Sword Art. So you're bringing in 2 opposite sides of the room here. You're bringing in a Worlds finalist, and then you're bringing in an Academy player. And I do take a little exception with that. But again, I hope I'm wrong. I want to see Lost come out here, and I'm just hoping he smashes it. I'm really hoping the best for him. I think through scrims and through consecutive games, he'll really iron it out. And then Sword Art, I want to have a really hot take here. I don't like the signing of Sword Art. I'll be the first to say it. I don't hate it. I'm just not a big fan of it. I don't think it should be as hyped up as it is, and there's actually data behind it. So first things first, does anyone remember who was brought in 2018, in the 2018 spring split? Do you know who's brought in that this is like a really big name?
To TSM?
No, to NA.
Core JJ?
Bang. Actually, Core JJ might have. It was Bang.
Oh, yeah.
Bang came in from the World Finals, and he lost. He comes over here, and he made a big splash. I believe 100 Thieves made it back to... No, 100 Thieves did not. They made it to playoffs, if I remember correctly, that spring, 2018 spring. They made it to playoffs, but it wasn't a breakout thing. Now, granted, since then, just this past offseason, Bang has gone back. He now plays for the Afrika Freaks. He's back in Korea. He never went back to Worlds. He never made it to Worlds again when he came over to North America. My point here being, no matter how good of a player you are, I think Bang's an amazing player, and I think Sword Art is an amazing player. Just because you do really good elsewhere and you come over to a lesser region viewed internationally, it doesn't mean success. I've said it before with other players. I'm going to say about Corey JJ, he's really going to have to help out Lost with definitely finding his path, his play style, and trying to just show, he's played alongside Huang Feng and Betty. Betty with Flash Wolves, Huang Feng with Sunin.
Yeah.
How'd they play? What do they do really well? How can he be like them? Because obviously they're good players. Huang Feng over Betty, but they're still really good players. So yeah, it's going to be one of those things that I hope it's not going to cross too harsh, but this team is going to have. They just signed $6.6 million, or is it $6 million for Sword Art? The biggest contract. Yeah. They're bringing over big money. People are going to expect really big things out of him. And I just want to say, if he doesn't perform, which I don't think that's going to be the case, I don't want Lost getting blamed for it and then him getting nixed. Because, again, it's young talent. And that's just my take. And then Bjergsen obviously moving into the coaching role. It's going to be really good for them just because he's been around for a while. He's a partial owner in TSM. He should really know. He knows a lot about the league. And I want to see if he can, again, definitely just help out the team with it. I'll hand it off to one of you guys, whoever wants it. That was a very
That was good.
long-winded
That was
period.
awesome. Very
Oh, that is
detailed.
very good. This is very good. I like what you're saying. This is exactly what I was going to say. I was just
You can't just
continue a
take
bit.
his credit like that.
No, 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 no,
I'm
no.
kidding. I'm kidding.
Well, this is what I said. Like, this he's probably going to be the scapegoat, and we see in the TSM community, the
True.
fans are very crazy. You know, they're very harsh. Um, and they always have to find the scapegoat. Even doublelift was a scapegoat for TSM fans at one point. Uh, so you know they're very crazy, and yeah, this guy he's definitely going to be the scapegoat. So a lot of pressure on him. Uh, but thankfully, ADC is a role where really it is 90% mechanics. You know, you can have your support tell you how to lane state and everything, but even this it's very easy to learn, right? You know when to push the wave, when to freeze, holding the wave, hard shove, stacking the waves. So thankfully, it is 90% really just mechanics. Can he team fight? Can he lane? And I think he should be fine. And I believe you said he's from OBL, right?
Yes, yeah,
Yeah,
he played previously in OPL. Yes.
yeah, yeah. So he's not totally veteran rookie, right? So he should be fine. I think he will be fine. And I actually bought TSM above 100 C's because of this, and also when they have the Monte in the mid lane, I don't think this guy is very good. So, BOE will probably have an edge over him. Um, but yeah, BOE, solid guy, very good at his champions if he gets it. Zibika, sadly, he's landed at TSM. I think he's a great, great, amazing player. Really, at Worlds, he had the best performance out of all the TSM players. And
Agree.
sadly, TSM is known to stunt the growth of the talent they have. So hopefully, he can continue to grow. I have already seen so amazing things, and he has even tried, even maybe if it did not work, Shan Jungle, River Shan, at least this guy has the stones to try this out,
Yeah.
so very very amazing talent who we need to see him grow. Last year was his rookie year, right? So Huni, uh, maybe he's on TSM now, so he's going to start grinding up the solo queue, try harding left and right.
Yeah.
We don't know. Maybe he won't. I don't know. Faraz is shaking his head. I don't think he will. Maybe he won't. I don't know. Really, I don't think. But he was a good player. He's kind of been coasting in NA. Not going to lie.
Like you say, collecting the checks. One
Yes,
team
collecting
together,
the paycheck.
collecting the
I did not
checks.
want to say it because you were telling me not to say it. So, but really, like this guy is coasting. So hopefully he can, maybe do something for TSM. No intangibles. I think his English, of course, is probably very good at this point. So he's going to be able to communicate. No communication issues. Now, sorry that, yeah, we have to talk about this. What was they thinking with this paycheck they're giving to him? Like 6 million, 6 million for this guy. And a lot of people they don't really know. I've noticed a lot of NA fans they don't really know about international players. So really, he was in his prime at Flash Wolves. At Suning, really the only reason he was able to get at the World Finals was, he's mainly the shot caller. Maybe he's leader in China too. We don't know too much about this, but for sure he is shot caller. And so he was able to, and with Juan Feng, which amazing player by the way, also rookie, but we're talking about NA, so let's keep it at NA. But yeah, I mean, we have to speak about he's a shot caller, but English he's not very comfortable on, you know. And we have seen what was it, DSM video where he was introduced. He was able to speak very well, but this is scripted and he has multiple takes. So we will have to see, is he going to be able to have the confidence to be able to shot call in DSM? And yeah, I agree with Declan's. He should be of blame if there is something. He's definitely a part of it if there is something going wrong at TSM. But yeah, he's definitely on the decline with his mechanics. But shot calling, he does have the voice. So let's see.
real quick note on Loss. Actually, I did make note of this. I just never even said it. He did play on Echo Fox. He was on Echo Fox and Echo Fox Academy previously. So it's not his first time over in North America. I actually forget if I don't think I said that, but it's his first time really stepping up into like. I'm not saying Echo Fox was a good team, but it's his first time up on like a premier, like you know what I mean.
Yeah, yeah.
So it's not
I
his
got
first
you.
time over here, but yeah, it's yeah. So he played on Echo Fox after coming over from Legacy Esports.
All right, so
Go on.
basically what both of you guys said, that's what I was gonna say. So, uh, I guess some things I could add. Like I said, Honey, coin flip, not a big fan. The thing I'm worried about is Spica, because I feel like Spica, he had Bjergsen to kind of just like pull him around, like yo, do this, do that. Now, I don't think Poe is that type of player to like. He doesn't need that much attention. He doesn't like. He's just like good by himself, and like he knows when to move, when to do stuff. Like I don't know if he has that voice to tell Spica like, hey, you should go this way. Hey, you should go that way. You should invade. I'm coming with you. Blah blah. Spica's gonna have to like develop a voice. I feel like to
Yeah, yeah, but I don't think this was the case with Nico was getting, dragged around. I think he can. He's one of the few NA talents I've seen that he will be able to perform. He knows how to play the game. He
hmm
knows the fundamentals. I don't think he needs this type of voice to tell him.
Okay. I mean, I hope
I,
so.
and to note on that point, I mean Bjergsen will still be there. It's just obviously not going to be mid game.
True.
I think it's not his rookie split anymore. I think he realized the fact that listen, he helped, and there were some really I have to mention in the playoffs, in summer playoffs, to get them where they were, there were some really nice smites. There were some really good steals. There were some really good ganks from him.
True.
He can't treat himself, and I don't think he does. I think he realized the fact that he played such a pivotal role in getting them back to Worlds for the first time in a very long time for an organization that again it's NA dominance practically. When you think about North America, one of the two big organizations you think about, or you at least used to think about, was TSM. And so I think he realizes that now. I hope all the sweat is away, all the butterflies in the stomach. I hope it's all away because I really think this. I'm not joking with you. I think if he has another breakout year, in my opinion, he's best jungler. I put him above Blabber. I put him above everybody because and that's not me coming from a TSM fan standpoint. I really think analytically, I think he's a great player, and coming in from such a young age. Again, the future. You have to look at this. That it's not just like, it's not like he's a fifth year player. No, like he's doing this good in his second year. He has to continue to do this, and I'm just hoping TSM. I actually don't know what their development staff is. I just really hope that they continue to keep him up here because we talked about previously. I said the exact same things, or I felt the same way. I didn't say the exact same things about Mike Young. And Mike Young, I believe he plays for. I only know where Mike Young plays now. I don't think he's in the LCS anymore. I'm just hoping that, and there is the same stuff about him. I know he's on P1, but yeah, speak up through the roof for. I'm definitely, and again, I want these guys to prove me wrong. I have him at fourth. I'd love to see him at first. And that's coming from a TSM fan, but
That's how I
I'd
feel
really
about
love to see
CLG.
it. Oh, well, it's okay. TSM would take first place any day. It's okay, but yeah, it's definitely just one of those things. I'd love to see them. Oh yeah, you know what? Fourth place now. We'll take third. We'll take second. We'll take first. I want to see them definitely do that. I think if they all piece together well, I think they can do it.
Yeah, and I think out of all the teams, TSM is one to maybe make an upset, and because I think even last split,
Agreed.
they were not really like, if I remember correctly, like, I did not think they would make first place. I did not think they would make the
No.
miracle run,
Yeah, I did
and they
not.
did. So, but they did have a Bjergsen and doublelift, so maybe these players are costing throughout the regular season, and boom, up in the playoffs. So I don't know.
All right. You guys ready for number 3 to move on? 100 Thieves. I know there was some difference of opinions here, but our aggregate is 100 Thieves. Let me start this one off because I made a video about how I think they're gonna win the whole thing. So I know the weak point here is Damonte, but I don't think he needs to play any type of carry mids. Like he just needs to play anything that's supportive, like the Gallios, maybe the Malphite mids, stuff like that. Just
Give
very
him the give him the crown treatment in Worlds. You know, he just played Malzahar against Faker, so
Exactly. Exactly.
this one
Just
didn't.
support, like basically make him a support. That's the only like down point I see on this team because for the last few years it's always been like someday is so good of a top laner, and he is. Like the numbers speak for themselves. He is a good top laner, and he's always surrounded by like a weaker team. Like the whole map is blowing up around him, but now he literally has four players from GGS just brought slotted into his team, and they looked good. And now these four players instead of Hanser, they're gonna play with a better top laner. And I think one, because the synergy they already have, and then two, the addition that comes is someday. I feel like they're gonna pop off, and yeah, I know everybody is hyped about FBI and Huhi. I remember when I first started watching League, I used to think Huhi was like the best mid laner ever. I like rewatched those games, and I was like, what was I watching? Like, this is horrible. But he's a really
The
good
CLG
support.
fan blinded you.
Exactly. That's the thing. That's when I started watching. When CLG like made the run to like MSI to like the finals. That was the year I started watching. I was like, oh my god, they're so good. Like, and yeah, I think he's a really good support. And I think those two really came online, especially towards the end of the split, and then end in playoffs. I'm so sad FBI flashed in against TSM to get killed. Oh my god. I'm sure that wasn't gonna make a difference, but that made me so sad. And I'm excited for this team. I could easily see them taking. Actually, no, it's kind of hard for me, but I believe they can take the whole thing, and I'm excited to see what they're gonna bring to the table. Somebody else say
Okay.
something.
Uh, well, I wanted to ask Declan. Do you know much? I have not really. I've not paid attention to Huhi in the support. How is he doing in the support role?
So it's funny you ask me that. In my notes, I have it. It's a second year. I'm not a fan. I don't think I know. Listen, oh, hot take. I know. I'm not a fan of him in the support role. I still see his big dominance being in the mid lane. I still always see him as that. And now I will say I'm gonna give Perks the same credit and Caps for that matter. Um, they both like changed roles, and they had to learn different play styles. And honestly, again, I'm not a fan of it, but it's worked. I just don't. He's the one weak link I see here. Him and maybe a bit closer, in my opinion. But to say who he, to bring in stats, I actually didn't list the actual stats because they're so minute. In most of the stats, actually dealing with vision, he led in amongst supports last split. He was, if not first, he was within the leaders for the website I was using. I did not track the playoffs, but past that point, um, actually one of the biggest parts is that I don't look as per to why. I'm gonna imagine I don't know if Matt was on GGS or like who he used to be for TL. Who he only played 7 games, so that now, great, that was last summer. I didn't look in the last spring. I should have done. That is bad journalism on my part. I'm just not a big fan of it. I think he could be better. Honestly, if he doesn't do good, I don't know what Biofrost is doing. I don't think he might be on Academy. He might be on TSM Academy. Just pick up Biofrost. I don't understand why they brought him, but the biggest part with this is that yeah, he's already played with FBI. The synergy is there. Honestly, they do have proven success. So I am excited to see it. Again, not a fan of it personally, but I'm always one to be proven wrong, and I hope that Hui, because he is, again, if this doesn't work, he can go back to mid. But yeah, I'll give my take on the. I'll hand back you to. I'll hand it back over to you. But yeah, that was my take. Yeah, he does well. He does like middle of the pack as a support. He's not class A and he's not class C. He's a nice class B support.
All right, Mahmoud.
Yeah. Someday, not much to say. He has gotten all the praise. He really hard carrying 100 Thieves, and even crazy to think he was on the academy. They moved him to academy. Like, what are these guys doing, man?
Look how fake got in. Oh my
He
god.
was second in the MVP voting when he was in Korea, 2016, and not many people know this. Like I have said, because not many people pay attention to the LCK. And he was behind Smeb in 2016. So come on, Rocks Tigers 2016,
Yeah, yeah.
MSG. We all remember. Okay, okay.
I was
Uh,
there. I was there.
it
Good
is,
series. Damn good series.
yeah, one of the best. So yeah, I mean, he's really good. Definitely the stone in the top lane. He's hard carry as well. Uh, Not much to say else. Closer, I don't know too much, but he is Turkish from EU. So I think, I have a bit of bias towards these EU players. I think he will perform very well. I think we should watch out for him. Um, and Damante, uh, I don't know. I've not seen anything very special from him. And like I believe it was, oh no, it was far as you were saying, he needs to play. You need to give him the crown treatment. You have to just play Malzahar against Faker every time. If they're against Barks, just play like Lulu mid or something, man. Just farm, farm, farm. Don't have to do anything. Just don't end. Uh, FBI and Huhi, you guys have said, good synergy, and like I said, the best role for any players really is ADC, because it really just takes mechanics, and a lot of any players they do have amazing mechanics, and this guy he knows how to team fight, he knows how to lane, so yeah, this team is looking very solid. I put TSM ahead of them, uh, mainly because of the mid lane. But of course, if they are able to stun the mid lane difference, then they will be able to overcome TSM.
Yeah. All right.
So I'm gonna give a hot take right there.
Sure.
I actually think, especially in the mid lane, um, Demonte was the one I actually wanted for TSM. If I got my dream pick, um, TSM would have had Demonte in my opinion. And again, it goes to my notion of all like of the future. TSM lost two players, and they were old players. They didn't really get to pick it up. I really wish they picked up Demonte, but I mean someday, going back to his time with the arrows, their KT arrows, KT bullets, always known for great individual play. Recently, that's what he's known for. He can make really good big team plays, but individually or an individual level, he's great. What is it right now? He did really well just with a lot of things farming wise, like goal difference, CS per minute, CS difference, stuff like this. He did really well last split. I'm looking
Yep.
to see if he can continue that, and if he can't, it's going to be an issue. But um, he still is a premier top laner. I'm not saying he's not. He's like number four. He has slid down a bit, but I still think it's not what he was when he was over in Korea. But he's certainly still really well. I compare him a lot to his play style to he recently played for KT Rolster was Ray. He used to be, I don't know if he went by a different name back then. I think he changed his name right now, but he used to play for C9. He would be swapped out for Impact. He had the same thing, and it's the only exception to it. He was a great individual player. I can remember when I believe he picked Fiora, and he would just split push. They were having a T fight down bot lane. He's just split pushing. There's no notion for TP him in. No, he's down there. He's breaking down that top turret, and again, that's needed in my opinion, and I think he's good. Closer again, I want him to prove himself here. I know he always loved playing with Broken Blade, because again, they had the Turkish link,
Yeah.
but now that that's out, yeah. Demonte again, I still think he's the best young talent. I remember he frustrated me when he would continuously beat down Bjergsen back in 2018. It killed me to watch it because I was like, Bjergsen's the god, and yet here he comes and he's just killing this man. And Demonte, it confused me when he wasn't inside. I didn't know if there was something wrong behind the scenes. I thought Tanner was great. Demonte, sorry. I thought he was great. FBI again, veteran via OCE, still kind of a newcomer here in NA. I think he'll just be in the same spot where he was last year. Not the best, not the worst, certainly improving, and it's just going to be he'll be up there amongst the top in due time. Just not now, but in due time. And then Huhi again. I already said it. He's not my favorite support, but he certainly can do the job, and he's proven that time and time again. And then the last thing I was going to make note of here, Zeeks and Lustboy are the coaches. So they're veterans in the region, and I think what's it called? I think 100 Thieves and all these new players, they're Actually, I do have one more note. I meant to mention this earlier. Usually, team building is a really big thing here. I mentioned with Brox about how he failed with it, or not he failed with it, but how he wasn't given the right time to acclimate. I think it's gonna be a lot more. The four of them are gonna have to learn to play with someday, rather than it being a whole big, team learning activity. Um, it's gonna be one of those things. I think it's really gonna be important that they learn to play around, not around him, but they learn to play with him. It's not cool. Like I just feel like it's gonna be one of those things. It's gonna be, let's learn to play with someday because we know how to play with each other, and I want to see how that's gonna play into it because I can't tell you how much synergy probably means to this team, and I can't wait to see it. Again, I have them at third. I could see them going up one if they play really well, and I mean like they play really well, and something happens to the top two teams, or I can see them interchanging with TSM. And it's going to come down to how individual plays happen.
All right. You guys want to move to the controversial two on the top?
I mean, there's.
So number two, we got TL, and number one, we got C9.
It should not be controversial, my friend. Come on, guys. Should not be.
You guys can probably convince me, right? Like, maybe.
Well, we have to convince a majority of NA fans, I guess.
You think a majority of NA fans put TL
yeah,
first?
I was about to say, do you think that happened? I
was debating that one guy.
That's true.
He was saying TL was going to win it all, and I think a lot of people were agreeing with him. So this is what I saw. This is what I'm saying. If you did a ball, maybe you're right. Maybe C9 is on the top. I think people. I don't want to start with Burks, of course, but I think people are just criminally underrating him. So yeah, you want to just like maybe do the head-to-head mashup, or you want to just go down the list of TL first?
We could do head-to-head. What do you think, Declan? Head-to-head, just players.
I mean,
every role.
I'm fine. I think I do just want to put in some of the data later on, but yeah, I'm perfectly fine by that.
Right.
We can give like because we're going to do thoughts on each player. Yeah, I'll just input my data then, or I'll just put in my thoughts there.
Okay. All right, Mahmoud, start us off.
We can just. I will go down the list for TL players. Definitely very good team, and I think they will be able to perform internationally as well. And this is the first time I have seen in any where two teams who should be performing internationally very well. So it's good news for us for any fans. We need to perform internationally, my friends. So yeah, Alfari, one of the best EU tops, and he's rotting in EU, and now he gets a chance to come over, and he is exempt. You know, a lot of the EU players are getting flamed for leaving EU, but he's exempt from this criticism. You know, he was what? How long has he been? 3 years, right? As a pro player.
Yeah, sounds about right.
And he was constantly on the lower teams, and it was like he was stuck rotting, like I have said. But very good.
Since 2016.
Huh?
2016.
2016. Yeah. So
Misfits was, I believe, his first big team.
Yeah. So 4 or 5 years, and back then Misfits was not very good, right? Of course, the year after it was when they made the quarterfinals against SKT and Worlds. So Santorin, amazing jungler as well. Very good. He does have, I believe, maybe his shot caller. I don't know too much, but he definitely is not a leader. And he, after TSM in his career, he was performing very well, and he was one of the biggest reasons that FlyQuest was performing very well last split. Jensen, consistently the second best mid in NA. I don't think he will ever be able to get that title as the top mid laner. But yeah, he's very good. But we will talk about how Burks will deal with him later. Tactical, I think people are maybe overrating him. Yes, he did perform very well. You have to give it to him. But I think when you have Core GG, absolute stud in the support role, you're going to do well. You just have to deal the damage. As ADC, like I've said, it is mostly mechanical role, right? So when you have Core GG at your side and you ain't, you really don't deserve to be in the LCS, my friend. But yeah, Core GG, I mean, I will let you guys talk about them. Amazing, definitely best support.
Is that why
Um,
doublelift retired? Because he was inting next to Core JJ?
well, yeah, I mean, I don't know, man. Definitely,
Kidding.
Corey is a better player, I think, than Doublelift. But maybe. Oh, I don't want to get attacked. I think he is better than Doublelift. So yeah, this is probably why. um, um, yeah. So he's also one of the few imports who are not collecting a paycheck, guys. He's constantly trying. He's doing the in-houses.
Very
He's
big.
constantly trying to make the league better. He's making YouTube videos, guides on how to support. Respect through the roof, my friend. Respect. Uh, he is a very good shot caller, and people are saying he's leader. So we need to establish the vocabulary, right? There's difference between someone who is shot calling, telling you what to do in the game, and the leader. I think leader is someone who is bringing the players together. Rallying the troops. Like motivating them. And once they're behind, he's like, guys, we're still in this. Boosting the morale. Um, and I don't think he has the personality for this. I don't think he does. But yes, he does have shot calling. And some people think, well, if he's shot calling, he's leading the team, right? I don't think so. This is not the same thing. You don't have the same qualities. You have to have the right personality. And yes, there are some shot callers, some IGLs who, yeah, they do have the leader personality as well. But I don't think he is. I think he's a bit more, mellow. Just tells them what to do, and that is it. Um, and this is why I think Barks is above him as a player, because Barks is also a leader. So yeah, that is for TL, and Declan can continue.
Okay, so I'm just gonna do my two big things here, real quick. I think it's gonna be, touching what you were saying on Alfari. I'm happy that he's gonna get the recognition he really deserves. He has lived in the shadow of Wonder for quite some time now, and there's no doubt in my mind he's gonna fill the shoes of Impact. For Team Liquid there. I have no doubt in my mind that he's going to do as good, if not better. Um, he's still on the come up there. Going down, I'm just looking at it between and then Fudge. Um, I'm interested to see how he's going to do because he is going to have to show that he can fill the shoes of Licorice. I know they didn't make Worlds last year. I know it was a really big upset for them, but I really think I obviously I was still happy with Licorice, but going into Fudge here, some data for him last year in NM Academy. He was number one in the Academy for KDA with a 6.0 KDA. And then he was number one in the Academy in CS per minute with 8.2, and he had 6.4 kill participation. So he is an active player. He's not just, I'm just going to step in the top lane. He's willing to go down and TP down, make plays, team fight, stuff like that. Blabber, I have a tough time picking him over, like individually. I have a very tough time picking him over Santorin, but I still give it to Blabber. The one thing I really will say is I think TL can win these matchups into them. Um, if Santorin if he plays the same way he did last year, oh, it's going to be easy. Santorin is aggressive, and I just hope it matches well with Jensen. Jensen again, we were talking about, he's just about to come the best mid laner, and then Perks comes in, and it's just going to be that. I don't know why I'm like dipping back and forth. Perks,
No,
I'm
I like
happy.
it. It's good. Keep going. Keep going.
Perks, I'm excited for. I just don't think there's a lot of stuff when it was news that he was coming over here. Oh, he's going to work with Sven again. It's great. I'm not saying they don't have synergy. What I'm saying there is that when you go back and you think about G2 from way back when, um, people weren't talking. Oh, did you see the cool Perks Sven play? No one was talking about that. People would talk about Sven and Mithy is now a coach. He's now, I believe, the strategy coach for C9. Yeah, for C9. Yeah, so we'll go back there. But yeah, so for Perks, I just think it's going to be really good for him to come here. I think he's, in my opinion, it's the biggest acquisition. I think maybe not money wise, but I think impact wise, this is going to be bigger than Sword Art. That's how I feel, and I can't wait to see how he does because I want to see the game between him and Jensen because that is going to be probably the best matchup we've seen since probably Bjergsen and Jensen back in like uh, 2017 spring finals. Like I'm saying, it's been a while since we've seen a really good Clash of Titans that like where it's not one clear winner or one person should win. No, these four equal footing. I really can't wait to see how those two come out. And then Sven, I have to give it to Sven over Tactical, but that's purely just due to the fact that he's a veteran. In my opinion, he's the best ADC. Tactical, second best ADC. That I know it's a hot take. I know we're not on the same page there with that one. My biggest thing was that he proved to be a very good player last year. He won Rookie of the Split, and he was in top 3 for most categories. Just name a few: KDA, CS per minute, gold different, or GD. I forget what GD is. I believe it's gold difference. I forget what it is. Kill participation, CS difference, and then gold difference at 15. He was just he's phenomenal, and I can't understate that in my opinion. And it's weird because he had to fill the shoes of him. We've been talking about who's going to be next double lift. I think it's Tactical because I think Tactical is in the best organization for development, certainly for the past 3 years. And him, and then the last little comparison I'll do here is between Vulcan and Core JJ, and they're two opposite players. Vulcan's been underrated his entire career. Only recently has he started to get the recognition he deserves. He was really well when he played on Clutch, and I think it's showing off now that he's doing perfectly fine. I mentioned it earlier. In my opinion, it's arguably tied at times between him and Core JJ, but then there are other times where Core JJ clearly takes it. And Core JJ, I think him and Jensen are probably the two biggest pieces to that TL team, in my opinion. I feel like they did probably like they were really thought about, and Tactical obviously was, but like when they were rebuilding some of these elements, I think that they were really thought about the most. And the thing with Core JJ is I've said it once about a million other players. It's going to come down to development. How much can he help with Tactical? Obviously, Core JJ played alongside Ruler. Ruler being an amazing Korean top laner. And what most people might not know is that if for some reason he can't impart any advice from Ruler's play, Core JJ himself was a bot laner way back when in 2013. He was an ADC back with Big File Miracle
Kiwi Kid.
and
Kiwi Kid.
yep, Cuvic Esports. Again, he will have to go, and I can't say that much about how much this synergy will really do it. And again, I can't wait to see these matchups because these ones I know we have it set that C9 is above TL, but I would love to see it as like a finals, maybe in the play-in tournament, or just maybe in the playoffs. That like I'd love that this is going to have to go to the best of 5, and I don't see it any other way. This is going to be it's going to be a really good game. Past that point, on both sides, your coach is leaving. I just want to make that point very clear. Oh, and then actually, I do one more note. I keep forgetting these notes. I breeze right over them.
I like listening
Santorin. Santorin. One of the biggest things about it is I'm hoping he's been really good. I'm hoping that this is the team he sticks on. The reason why I forgot to really say this stuff was his contract is set to expire, and I have to see that he's good and that yes he'll stay because I love Santorin. I really think he's a good jungler. I'm happy to see that he's not on Gold Coin United. I believe that was the team he was on in the NA Academy or in the Challenger Series back then. I'm hoping that he finally has found his spot amongst the stars and that he can finally be seen. And but then the coaches, this is what I want to mention. The coaches for C9, you probably had the biggest part of it. Reaper retired. Reaper had been there for 4 years. He had seen them. He had been there from hell. It sounds like I'm very old saying this. He was there when Sneaky was there. He was there when Medios was there. I'm pretty sure he was there when Medios was there. Yeah, he definitely was because they're at Worlds 2016. It just turns into one of those things that actually I do want to do my research. Maybe it wasn't in 2016, but it just comes down to one of those things that he's been there for such a long time, and he has been there through their different phases. when they had Zazel, when like through all these different rebuilds, he was there when they brought in Golden Glue, when they shuffled out Jensen over or all these starters to the academy due to motivational issues. He was there, and like again, it's going to be really important to see what they do now. Their coach, in case anyone's wondering, is former jungler Rainover, who for Oz, you're a CLG fan, you should know him.
Yeah.
He was also, off the top of my head, he was on Fnatic, and it slipped in my mind on another team he was on. So you have Rainover, you have West Rice.
Immortals with Huni.
Was he Immortals?
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
all right.
Yes, he was with
Oh,
Fnatic.
that's true. When he was, oh my
Yes,
gosh, yeah,
best
that
best
was bad.
of jungle duo. Best of jungle duo.
That was fun to watch.
And then they have Mithy, which again, it's going to be really interesting now because now you have three members of that old G2 lineup. And so I want to see maybe and Mithy, I believe, is a strategy coach there. So
Yes.
how is he going to input that stuff into? And then on TL, I believe Jat is still there. But
Yes.
the big departure there was Kane, who had been there for 3 years. So you talk about someone being there from when 3 years being 2020, I believe. So he was there in 2017, if I got my numbers correct here.
Yes.
So he was there. So yeah, he was there. He was there when they had to get doublelift to bail him out.
Yes.
He was there. He was there during the times of dire stuff to facing relegation. So again, he's been there for a while. He's been replaced by Cold, who former EU LCS jungler. He played a bit in the LEC, I believe, on Origin, but he used to go by Trashy. He played for Splice, UOL, and I forget another team. He'll fill in for the strategy coach. So I just want to see how all these things fall in line. I think C9 has it, but C9 also does have a bit to prove. I want to see how Fudge plays. Fudge, I think, will be the biggest factor as to they make it, they don't make it, in my opinion, because you're not just gonna give a player Alfari, a free lane where he can just keep on stomping it out. No, I want to see how this plays out. I have a lot of faith in both teams, and again, I want to see Fudge do really well.
All right, you guys convinced me. No, I'm just
kidding.
All right. The reason I got Team Liquid above C9, look, Perks definitely best player NA. He hasn't even played yet. Like I'll give it to him, but I feel like the things with C9, it's gonna be a lot of meshing that they have to do with such a big name like Perks coming over. First of all, it's got to be nerve-wracking for Blabber, Vulcan, Fudge, even Sven. Like you're gonna get to play with a player that's like already, he's number one, and your team is number one. That's a lot of pressure. And then on top of that, Fudge being new to the LCS, I know he played in academy and he was stomping there, but like, am I really gonna put him ahead of players like Alfari or Someday and maybe even Licorice? Like, am I gonna put him above them? Like, I don't know. I can't do that. And then Blabber, all right, in like FPS games, it's like there's players that just press like the W key and they just go forward. That's what Blabber reminds me of. And sometimes that's not the right thing to do. I'm sure with Perks, he's gonna do mighty fine. Like their synergy, like if Perks can like always make sure to be there, because that's kind of how Nisqy was. He was always there for Blabber when he needed him, especially at least in the first split where they were stomping. And I don't know, can Perk, I know he's a big step up from Nisqy, but can he be that type of player that he's just always there for Blabber even when he's like in sticky situations? And then coming down to Sven and I was gonna say Mithy, but Sven and Vulcan, I don't have much to say to him. He's just a solid support. Sven, I feel like whenever the team collapses around him, he's never like oh, I got this, like I'll be the carry player, I just don't see it in him. And even when I first started watching him, like maybe I'm just a hater, like I hope I'm not, but like it just felt like he was never like, I got this, guys. I know you guys are messing up today. You guys are having a bad day. Like, let me take over. It's just like, I guess that's the role of an ADC, but I want to see some tactical like plays from him, like that Kalista stuff. Like that's what I want to see. And he's better than tactical for sure. But the reason I got TL above is because I think Santorin can play different styles, not just press W key style. I'm gonna have to give Alfari the better like end of the stick to Fudge. Jensen, I don't think he's as good as Perks, but I don't think he's so much worse that he's gonna like get blown out of the water every time. He's not gonna be like Perks going against a Blaze Olive. Like I'm sure he can stand his ground. And then Core JJ, I know you were talking about how he's not a lead, he might not be a leader, but he's definitely a shot caller. But I think he is a leader. Like what one of the reasons, like he might not be a leader in the fact like, oh, everybody get hyped up, like we got this. But I feel like he's more of a leader in the other sense, like yo, everybody like relax, like calm down, keep your cool. Like I know his English isn't the greatest, but it's getting better. And another fact, the fact that he set up this in-house league. I know they've done it before, like players have done this before, but he set this up, he made it big. Like that shows leadership qualities to me. Like he like made everything happen. This the way that who's gonna be the coaches and like what is it, like 3 pro players, 2 pro players, 3 non.
Yeah,
Like
yeah,
he set
academy.
this
Yeah,
up.
yeah. He has been the main driver. Yeah,
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 the leadership right there. Like that's he's being a leader right there. And I feel like I'm not underhyping Perks at all. One of the biggest reasons they're gonna be, I'm sure they can get first or second, but like one of the biggest reasons they're in this top spot is because he's coming. I'm sure if Niski was still on this team instead of Perks, I maybe would have put him like third, fourth. Like I easily could have, but because he's coming, he's like second and very likely to get first. And Team Liquid, I feel like Santorin's gonna mesh really well into this play style, just playing slow and calm and methodical, and everything is like planned out. Like I feel like he's gonna mesh right into that, and that's why I got Team Liquid first. That's why I got C9 second. I can flip them around, like you guys made a bunch of good points already. Like I can flip them around, but I'm gonna stick to it because I don't wanna,
content.
content, and also I don't want to seem flimsy. You guys convinced me.
Well,
I don't get
you're already
convinced.
feeling flimsy, my friend. You're like, you can flip it, you can go twist it, turn around. What do you want to do, man?
All right, 100 Thieves winning all of.
Yes, it is possible. It's
Yeah,
possible.
that would be exciting.
Well, yeah. I will respond to Declan's claims because I have them in my head fresh. I'm trying to remember.
Okay.
I really like he brought up the tactical, maybe new double lift, and he is on the right track for this because double lift at the beginning of his career, who was his support? Schuster, and it is well known. It's kind of a meme. Uh, Double lift memes himself. Even he was like kind of like brain off, just mechanics, and Schuster would tell him what to do, and all he had to do was a click, mechanics, team fight. This is what all he did, and maybe same thing is going on with tacticals. Maybe not to the same degree, because obviously back then. League was not at the same skill level as it is now,
Yeah.
but yeah, he's on the right track. So I really like this take actually. Maybe he is going to be the next the double lift. And also he brought up what else? Yeah, the coaching stuff. So he mentioned Rebirth is leaving, right? But I think the coaching stuff for C9 is more than enough to take the spot of Rebirth, and I think they may even do better than him. Rebirth, of course, amazing coach, definitely the best coach in my opinion in NA for a long time. But I
I
think
think ever. I'll let you
ever,
continue. I think ever. I don't think there's been a better coach in North America that has shown dominance and not just like consistently. Again, this is the first year they haven't made Worlds,
That's
and
true.
he's been there for what 4 years, and they've constantly been in playoffs. They've constantly been in contention, and when they aren't, they've pulled miracles to get to Worlds before, and then when they're at Worlds, they've made it to semifinals. So further than so many other teams I can think of. So yeah, I'll let you continue, but yeah, I think he's the best all time.
no, yeah, very good, and I can even build on that. Now what are the coaches for these teams? Compared to basketball or soccer or football, the coach is the manager very important in those sports. And now that I think about it, league it's not very important, but everyone knows Rebirth. Everyone. Sometimes I don't know the TSM coach. I don't know the 100 Thieves coach. I don't know these guys, but I do know Rebirth. He's kind of celebrity,
Yeah.
and not only is he able to bring the results, but he definitely has a part in C9's support staff for their talent. They have all these rookies coming in here and there, and he's able to nurture them, build them. He made it, like you said, he made it to semifinals. Zizel, rookie, basically rookie. Licorice, basically rookie. Blabber
That was,
and
I believe, his rookie year. I'm trying to think here. He was 2018. So they made 2018 Worlds. They made the semis. Licorice was rookie split spring 2018.
yeah, I mean these guys, basic young players. It
Yeah.
doesn't really matter if they're absolute rookie or not. Young players, three of them. Blabber as well. Blabber was being subbed in. It was Svenskeren. Um, and this is also pretty young player, right? He's not a veteran. He does not have a lot of experience. So yeah, but we're kind of sidetracking. River, very good coach, of course. But I think, like I've said, C9 coaching stuff. Uh, all of them are high elo players. We have to realize this. Um, Messi, he's one of the best minds in the game. Amazing career. Made it to worlds, high placement many times before it was cool for the EU guys to make it high in the worlds run. Um, and also, yeah, Sven, Barks, and Messi, they do have really, yeah, ADC mid lane synergy does not really matter. I mean, the only thing is really like, can the mid lane carry? Can the ADC carry? If both of them can carry, then you will win a lot of games just by having good carry players. Um, but yeah, Vigar V2, high elo challenger, right? And Maxweldo, apprentice of LS. Um, he's really, um, I think all the coaches now in this state we are in league, they have to be high elo. I think this is true. Um, yes, you can have coach, maybe not high elo, but he has a different part of coaching, maybe head coach, managing players, making sure the connections, the relationships are good. But I think if you're a strategic coach or something like this, you have to be a high elo, and C9 is setting the precedent for this in the LCS. Um, yeah, and overall, and then we look at TL coaching stuff, and it's like, Jad, he's done a very good job. He has done a very, very good job. I will not disrespect him, but going against C9's coaching staff, I don't know if he stands a chance. And Barks versus Jensen, I don't know. I don't know if we can. I think Declan was trying to be like, it's going to be close. I think in the best of five, they will definitely, maybe they lose one game, but they'll be able to adapt. And, Big and Ban will be very, very good for them. Um, but yeah, in Korjiji versus Falcon, definitely Korjiji better, no doubt. But the thing is mechanically, they're very even, I would say.
Yeah.
And that is all Vulcan needs to do. He does not need to be shot caller, which Korjiji does. He does not need to be leader, which Korjiji does. He just needs to play his game mechanically, needs to be on peak form, because he has Barks in the mid lane, who is going to be doing all that for him, right? Um, and yeah, and you know, uh, I will give it to you. Yes, most likely Santorin. Santorin is going to be performing better than Blubber, but I truly believe that Barks is going to be able to
Make a big enough difference.
yeah makes a difference in the mid jungle duo, and the mid jungle duo is the most important in the game of League of Legends, definitely. Um, and a lot of power is gained by the team who has a better mid jungle duo. So and Barks knows how to win the game, so he will be able to use this to his advantage, and he's very good at closing out the games. And if they ever fall behind, maybe a blunder, first blood blunder, or bad gang, something like this, he's able to come back. He's able to come back from behind, and he has shown this on G2. And actually, G2, G2 lost their leader. Who's the leader on G2 now? I don't know. I don't know who's the leader. But Reckless is not leader. So Barks, really amazing. And Sven versus Tactical. Sven, I don't know. He's underrated maybe because of his yeah, TSM. We don't want to talk about it. It's in the past. He's learned about it. He's grown from it. But I think he's definitely not just because he's a veteran. Mechanically, team fighting is perfect. On par with best Korean ADCs, Chinese ADCs. Very, very amazing there. So yeah, Alfari versus Fudge. Yeah, we'll give it to you. LS said Fudge is the best player, up and coming talent in NA. So maybe, but he has been wrong in the past, so we don't know. But I will give it to you. Alfari is going to do very well. Most likely will be having an edge, but I don't think Fudge will int. I don't think he will int as bad as Jensen inting against Barks. So
All
yeah.
right. I think that wraps us up. If unless someone has anything to say, everyone good?
No, I think again I pushed this voluntary thing. I did make a note of it here. I didn't know whether to say it, but just as a whole, I'm looking forward to seeing how a lot of this. I know we didn't really talk, especially in comparison to these top teams. We didn't really talk about the top or the bottom teams we had, but it doesn't mean I'm certain you guys feel the same way. It doesn't mean that I'm not excited. It's just I'm really, and I really mean this. I'm super excited to see how these players develop. Whether they turn into these next great players who are going to play on the contending teams because they might not be in that state right now, but it doesn't doom them forever. And it's probably what I'm obviously I'm most excited to see where TSM goes. I want to see how Sword Art works out. I want to see how Perks works out. I want to see how like all these like the big three has been kind of shifted up a little bit, especially with our rankings. It's I want to see how everything plays out, and that's probably it. I really just want to see, no matter how much I want to see those play out, I also want to see how how's Golden Gardens play? How does Immortals play? I'm really looking forward to seeing Rays and Destiny. I'm always a big fan. I was a big fan of the OPL. I'm a really big fan of seeing how Oceanic players play, and then I'm really excited to see how Dig plays. But I'm excited to see how the lesser teams play because I want to see how their players develop, and I couldn't push that enough. But yeah, I just wanted to add that before we call it a video. Yeah, no, I'm just very excited to see how all this plays out. This split's gonna be really cool.
Yeah, and we have to hope. We're talking about NA. We have seen in China. Who were these teams who were at Worlds? I never heard of them. I've never heard of these players, and they're at Worlds, and they're so crazy insane.
Yeah.
So where is the NA players like this?
Golden
Come on,
Guardians.
show.
They're on Golden
Yeah,
Guardians.
we need Golden Guardian. Come on, guys, you're going to Worlds. Come on, we need this really. But yeah, definitely, we want to see these rookies show up, and even the rookies on teams who are stacked. Like Lost on TSM, Fudge on C9, and TL Tactical, right? So we want to see these rookies grow. Definitely, this is what we have to hope for, and I think this is one of the best on paper. These rosters are one of the best in NA. Like out of all the years of NA LCS,
Yeah.
um, really NA has kind of been very sad recently. But
Especially
this is
last year.
like new light for us.
Yeah. All right. I'm gonna end it here. I'm excited for the split. None of these rankings are set in stone. We're gonna find out when we find out at the end of the year. So I'll put everybody's socials down in the description. Thank you, Mahmoud. Thank you, Declan, for joining me and us.
No
and
Thanks for having me.
this is Acorn Esports signing off. See you guys later.